How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Tom Nash just made a fantastic video. He talked about how he's not being honest with you. What he was talking about in the video is basically that, hey, on YouTube, a lot of the time we talk about our best stocks. We get rid of the losers, we talk about the best ones. You'll only see the best stocks that we buy, and you think that we are getting 50%, 100%, 300%, 1,000, 10,000% returns every single year. And he called out other YouTubers to make similar videos talking about the losses. Because what happens is a lot of newer investors will be looking up these stocks and seeing these people that are making huge returns, and they might get discouraged. They might think, okay, if I'm not getting a 20% return every single week or every single month, there's no point in investing. I'm not going to be the next Tom Nash. And the thing is, with YouTube, it is a meritocracy. Meaning, if you do well, if you pick out good stocks and good cryptos, more people will follow you. People will be diehards. Another person besides Tom Nash that I can think of is George from Cryptos R Us. He does fantastic. He talks about crypto. He's not one of those guys that's saying crypto's going to crash tomorrow and then he's bullish the next day. He stays true to himself, and that is why these channels are blowing up. Now, with that being said, a lot of you might not even know that I talk about stocks because I've been mostly talking about cryptos this year. Especially over the last couple months, I've been really talking about cryptos almost exclusively because I feel like there's so much potential in them compared to the stock market. And the majority of my money has gone into cryptos this year. About 75 to 80% of my investments have been crypto. I just feel like there's a great amount of potential here this year. And I can talk to you about that all day long. I'm excited about that. But what you might not know is I had a couple stocks that did very badly. One, I am still dollar cost averaging into. And then one, I can't even sell. And I'll explain that. But if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff, just let me know. I'm happy to make videos on this kind of stuff every once in a while. Also, if you do want to know what I am buying in crypto, because we are seeing good gains in crypto, you can check out the links underneath the video to the Patreon. Now, this takes place back in February. If you remember February 2021, every single stock was making money. It was really at the peak of the SPAC market, of the pretty much every single stock was doing incredibly well. Penny stocks were starting to take off. I mean, I was making hundreds of percents in Sen stock, in BNGO stock. I was up like 1,200% at one point. And I was still allocating a small portion of my portfolio to these different stocks. But there was one that I put in about double as much as I normally would, which it was still only about less than 1% of my portfolio I was willing to put into it. And I was very clear about that. But this stock did incredibly badly the day after I bought it. So this stock that I'm talking about is COUV, Corporate Universe. So this was a SPAC. This is still a SPAC. I bought 1,000 shares. I bought like $670 worth. I had over $100,000 in my portfolio. Very upfront about that. Hey, this is high risk, but I was excited because they were working on this next generation charging, and maybe I should have been able to tell that that was a little bit too good to be true, but at that time, everything that was exciting, especially in battery technology, was doing well. I couldn't really care less the long-term play. I mean, sure, if they do this, that's going to be fantastic for everyone, and I would still probably take a portion of my portfolio and leave it in the stock. But what we were seeing was 200% pumps, 300, 400, 500% pumps. So I was thinking, okay, I'll sell part of it when it goes up. And it started to go up. As soon as I bought it, it went up about 30%. But from there, the very next day, the next day after I bought it, it started to dump. And right now it's down 90%. The SEC started to look into them. The day after I bought them, they started to get looked into. I forgot exactly what the case was, but basically they went on gray sheets, so they can't be traded on a lot of platforms. I still can't even sell them if I wanted to. And the merger is still supposedly going through soon, but there's so much hype that's died off. I mean, we've had 9 months of it just sitting in limbo, and we're still no closer to the merge than we were back then. So even when you think you can't lose in the market, still only invest a small amount in risky plays like this. And luckily, I hadn't gotten this one right and then another one right and then put in like 5 or 10% of my portfolio. That's where it can kind of get bad, is when you get too confident. So luckily that didn't happen, but there's another one that did poorly too, and that's one that I'm still dollar cost averaging into. Voyager Digital. I think this is a great company. I have the app myself. I use it to get interest on my cryptos, to hold my cryptos. I started buying when this was $20 a share. Now it's under 10. So I've been buying down 20, 16, 14, 12, 10, 14, 6, or 9, 9. And now it's still underneath all those. So it's at $9.31. I'm down 33%. This is a bigger position for me. This is like $5,000, which is maybe 4% of my stock portfolio. So this is a bigger position. And it hurts to see it down 33%. I mean, $1,500 is not a small amount of money. That would be nice to have. Even if you believe highly in a stock, if you buy at the wrong time, it can still fall and continuously fall and fall and fall. So I've been willing to buy the dip, but if this was a stock that I was just trying to swing trade, it would be horrible. So a couple takeaways from this. First of all, when you're buying stocks or cryptos or real estate, make sure you're well diversified. If I had put 100%, and I know people that did this, had their portfolio in 100% penny stocks, I told them that's way too much. But if you don't diversify yourself, you can definitely see 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% dips. If you're willing to hold through that, if you really believe in it, fine. But I think it makes sense to be well diversified. Let's say in crypto, we fall 80% from here. I have money in other places, so that way, even if I feel strongly about crypto, I can still put that money into crypto and buy the dip. Second of all, make sure that your risk fits your risk profile. If you're not a risky person, don't throw all your money into risky assets, because then it will hurt your mental well-being. I know that I was not okay with putting more than 1% of my portfolio in something like COUV, so while it went down, it still wasn't horrible for me. Next, you can make money in a speculative market like penny stocks, SPACs, all that stuff, but eventually the money will run out, right? Like even in crypto, if someone says, hey, crypto's too highly valued right now, you can still make money in that. Just know that that's what you're trying to do. Just know that you're trying to play the speculation, and that might change how much money you're willing to put into it. But I'm with Tom. I'm calling out other YouTubers. If you want to post about what you've lost money on, it might help people out. Give them a couple of points at the end for what you learned. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you want to check out the links down below to Patreon, I promise I don't lose on every single stock. Those are my 2 worst stocks for the year. Definitely check out that link, and I will see you guys in the next video.